Hi, my name is Michelle Dunn, and I'm an expert on credit and debt collection. I first got started in credit and collections when I first moved from Rhode Island to New Hampshire. I moved to New Hampshire about 25 years ago now, and when I went out looking for a job, the first job that I got was at Rochester Shoe Tree in Ashland as an accounts receivable clerk. And that job was you would receive the checks from customers that had been billed out and had open invoices. I would send out past due notices and make calls to accounts that were past due. So I did that job for a while and I did really well at it. I collected a lot of money for the company, reduced their overall bad debt, and eventually I worked my way up the ladder there to become the credit manager. And I was the credit manager there for a while, and I then had the opportunity to apply for another credit manager position for Dead River Company. So I applied for that position, and I got that position. And so I started out as the credit manager at Dead River, working in the Bristol office. And being the manager of credit for New Hampshire, I was also in charge of the credit for the New London office, the Bristol office, the Plymouth office, the North Woodstock office, and then just the office I was in Bristol. So that was a great opportunity because it was a much larger company. There was a bigger opportunity for me to learn more about the industry of credit and debt collection and learn how to manage as well. So that was a great opportunity. I did that for a while. I did very well there as well. And I moved on from there and got a credit management job at CB Sullivan in Hooksett. And I did the same thing, went in and cleaned up the receivables, collected on the past due debt. They actually had boxes of bad checks that I had to go through and decide what could be collected, what couldn't, what was worth it, what wasn't, based on different things. And also help them to write some credit policies and procedures to have in place to help prevent this from happening again. And I did the same thing at CB Sullivan that I did at every other credit management job I had. I worked myself right out of a job. So now I have zero job security because I've gotten everyone to pay and set it up so they don't have people that get that past due anymore. So what I decided to do at that point was start my own third-party collection agency. And so I did that in 1998, started my own agency from home. I kept my past employer, CB Sullivan, as a customer, and then I went around and had a lot of local businesses as customers. And I was doing really well with my business. It was like a male-dominated field, and so I was getting a lot of publicity and media attention. And I had the opportunity to be interviewed by the Ladies' Home Journal. And this was going to be my first experience with national press. And I did the interview. It was very exciting. And I was not prepared for when that article came out. And when that article came out, I just had so many people emailing me and calling me. I couldn't keep up with taking the messages off my voicemail or answering my emails, and then I would get emails from people saying your voicemail is full. And most of the questions I was receiving were from women who had seen the article, and they were asking me, how did you start a collection agency? How did you do this? And that's when I decided I would write my first book, starting a collection agency, because I just didn't have time to answer everybody individually. I still had to run my agency and wanted to get all of these people answered, and it seemed like the most efficient way to do that. And so I wrote starting a collection agency, and to be honest, it never crossed my mind to look for a traditional publisher to publish that book. I was really in a rush to get it out there because I had so many people who wanted it. So I just researched self-publishing and author marketing and everything to do with writing and publishing a book, and I self-published my first book myself. And I mean, I'm glad that I did. It's still my best-selling book. It's now on its third edition. It's still very popular. Um, but at the time, that was how it came about that I would start um, writing and publishing my own books. I went on from there to sell my collection agency in 2006, and I did that so that I could start writing full time and offering consulting to businesses or people who wanted to start their own agencies. So now I have many books that I've self-published, and I have two books that have been traditionally published. The latest being The Guide to Getting Paid, published by John Wiley and Sons. And I offer consulting to business owners about how they can collect the bad debt that they already have and how to prevent it moving forward so they don't find themselves in that same predicament again and again. And I write some local columns for some local newspapers, as well as columns for industry trade publications and online blogs and newsletters. And hoping to continue to be able to teach business owners and people who want to start their own businesses how they can have credit policies that will help them to, protect their biggest asset, which is their cash. Everyone writes a business plan and a marketing plan, but no one writes a plan for their money. And that's why you're in business, to make money. So I'm hoping that the next step is for me to continue to teach this to people so that they can be successful in business, especially in our new economy.